Hi, in this video I'm going to talk to you about the I-cord bind-off, which is the bind-off I used on the edge of the Manhattan Mist shawl. I really love the way this bind-off looks. It gives a very clean and tailored edge to the finished piece. So I'm going to demonstrate the bind-off with this lovely neon yellow yarn that I have here. I hope you can see that. I picked a bright yarn in hopes that it will show up really well on camera. Okay, so we are going to begin with using a knitted cast on to cast on 3 additional stitches. So I'm going to go down here and look at my instructions for the knitted cast on. I knit into the first stitch on the needle, but I'm not going to drop that stitch. Instead, I'm going to transfer it back on to that left-hand needle. And you'll notice that when I did that, I twisted the stitch a little bit. I'll do that again. We need to do 3 stitches that way. So knit the stitch, leave it on the needle, twist it, and put it at the tip. And one more time, knit the stitch, twist it, put it on the tip of that left needle. So now I've got my 3 extra stitches cast on to the beginning. Now it's time to move on to step 2 of the I-cord bind-off, and it says to knit 2, then knit 2 together through the back loop. And what that's going to do, that we're going to be working that over these 3 new stitches that we just cast on. We'll knit 1 and 2, and then when we get to that 3rd new stitch, we'll actually be knitting it together with one of the stitches from the body of the shawl. It'll be the first live stitch from the body of the shawl. So let's do that. Let's knit 1 and 2. Now we knit 2 together through the back loop. So I'm going to go in through the back, wrap it, and knit. So now I've got 3 stitches on my right needle and my live stitches from the shawl body on my left. Now we're going to take those 3 stitches and transfer them back over to that left-hand needle. 1, 2, 3. Now with all of my stitches back on my left-hand needle, I'll just repeat steps 2 and 3 until only 4 stitches remain. So let's go ahead and knit 1, knit 2, knit 2 together through the back loop. Transfer the stitches back over to the left-hand needle, knit 1, knit 2, knit 2 together through the back leg of the loop. I'm going to get this instruction sheet out of our way so maybe you can see it a little more clearly now. Let's do it one more time. We're transferring those stitches back, and then we'll knit 1, 2, knit 2 together through the back loop. 1, 2, 3, go back to the left needle. Now we'll take a look. You'll see my I-cord starting to form right here. So what's happening is each time I do that knit 2 together through the back leg of the loop, I'm actually taking away 1 stitch from the body of the shawl, or the body of my swatch in this case. And so eventually, as we keep removing 1 stitch, we'll get to the end and it will bind off all of the stitches. So let's go 1, 2, knit 2 together through the back loop. Transfer the stitches again, knit 1, 2, knit 2 together through the back loop. So I'm going to go ahead and cut the video here and finish doing my I-cord bind-off, and then I will come back and show you what to do. Our instructions say to repeat steps 2 through 3 until only 4 stitches remain. So I'll come back to you when I have 4 stitches remaining. Alright, I'm back. I have just 4 stitches left on my needles. Now it's time to finish this up. So let's get those instructions out again. And here it says, remember we repeated steps 2 and 3 until 4 stitches were left, which is where we are now. Next we repeat step 2 only, which means we don't do this part where we transfer them back. So all I'm going to do is knit 2 together through the back loop. 2, knit 2 together through the back loop. Now I'm down to 3 stitches left. What I'm going to do now is I'll pass the second and third stitch over the first stitch. So this is the first stitch, second and third. So I'll take my left hand needle and I'll go into that second stitch and I'll pass it over that first one, and I'll do that again with the third stitch. And now they're all bound off, and I can go ahead and cut my yarn. In this case I'm going to break it. Let's get that out of the way. Now I can pull that all the way through to secure it. And there is our I-cord bind off. You can see it's got some nice stretch in it, so it'll stretch along with your blocking when you get ready to block. And it is really a pretty clean little edge.